Today we're going to talk about a thriller that I read recently that I really liked. It's called Coram House and it's by Bailey Seybolt. This follows the story of this house that was an old orphanage and it was run by horrible nuns and a horrible priest. The priest abused the boys and one of the nuns was a murderous, horrible woman. So you have this whole history of abuse of these children. Fast forward now to the future. There is this woman, Alex. She is 36, and she's going to ghostwrite a book about Coram House. She was contacted by this lawyer. His name is Alan, and he wanted to write a book about it because he was a lawyer on the case, and he has all these case files from the people who had come out against the Coram House as adults, talking about like what went on there and the abuse that happened and all this stuff. And so he wants to have her write it because she wrote some other kind of like true crime books, and so he thought she might be a good fit for that. For the book, she's gonna go move out to Burlington, Vermont, near Lake Champlain, where all of these events took place. She doesn't really have anything holding her right now to New York anymore because her husband Adam had passed away 3 years prior. He had been ill. And she has her friend Lola there, but I think she just really needs a change of pace. Her last book prior didn't do very well, and so she kind of has like a little bit of trauma from that and whatnot. She gets there, she goes to the place that she's renting. It's in this big purple house, and it seems like the snow is coming down, and it's gonna be colder than she's used to. She gets there, she goes, and she meets up with Alan, and then Alan gives her all these boxes of case files. There's film, there's the depositions from the trial and all this stuff. So she takes it all home and gets it up the stairs to her apartment, and she starts going through it. And she starts reading like what all these different people had said. Some of the stuff was like conflicting, but some of the stuff in there was like there was a little boy who drowned, that there was a witness that said Sister Cecile and this boy that was in the boat with Sister Cecile like threw the boy out of the boat, and the boy drowned, and they didn't even do anything or try to like save him. And then there's confusion on if this boy even existed or who he was and all that stuff. And then there's like other horrible stuff too about like one time some of the girls were upstairs and they were cleaning the windows, and the one girl, Sister Cecile, was saying how the windows still look dirty even though they were cleaning, and she's like, well, we can't get to some of the stuff on the outside of the windows because the dirt is on the outside. And one of the stories was that Sister Cecile threw that girl out the window and she hit the concrete below and died. And then another time, there was another story about this other girl who, there was a ball that went in the fire. The nun, Sister Cecile again, made her go after it, and she died because she caught on fire. So a lot of very horrible stuff. And then you can imagine what the father was up to, because what are they usually? Young boys. He was abusing them. So all of that was going on. And what was confirmed was that the priest was abusing the boys, but the stuff with Sister Cecile was never confirmed. And this boy who drowned too, like the lawyer's like kind of like pushing her to, it seems like, to drop it about the boy who drowned. And she wonders why. And she's not going to let it go. Alex is going to dig deeper to find out. So she starts getting into this case, and she likes to run a lot. So she one morning is out and she's running and she's in the woods, and she hears like what sounds like a scream, and she's like, oh, hello? And so she starts like trying to find out where this person was, and then she hears like a thunk and like weird noises. And she's like, I think it came down from the water. That's where it sounded like it came from. So she goes down there, doesn't see anything, and then she turns around and then she sees blood, and then she finds this older woman that is either fell or was attacked. So she finds that, she calls the police, they come, they question her about what happened, and as you get more into the story, it turns out maybe that woman who died may have had a connection to all the stuff going on at Coram House. And then also, Coram House is still there, but it's now being developed into condos by this guy named Bill. And Bill had also been at Coram House when he was younger. Only for like 6 months, but still. And as she stays in the town, she also like meets this other guy, Fred Rooney, who was like this really horrible, just piece of crap, was as a kid and is now as an adult. And he works with Bill, and they seem to hate each other, and she's not really sure why they work together. And so there's all this weird stuff going on. And then another body turns up. Okay. And all the stuff seems to be like there's a lot of people that are really connected to what happened at Coram House. what is going on? And will she get to the truth of what happened to the boy who drowned and these other kids? Was any of this true? I flew through it. I couldn't put down. It was a great thriller, very moody and atmospheric, and it definitely kept me guessing. There was a point where one of the characters, I was like, oh God, I hope it's not this guy. Otherwise, if it would have been the one guy that it almost maybe didn't allude to, but maybe it did a little bit, I was like, this book's gonna suck. But then it wasn't, and it totally caught me off guard. So I like when that happens. I am a fan of when I don't completely guess who or what was behind like the current day murders and somehow how it tied into like the stuff that happened, the horrible things that happened at Coram House. Great book. I have never read this author before. If you like thrillers, if any of that sounds interesting to you, Coram House by Bailey Seybolt was pretty darn good. And if you enjoyed hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.